Work can be really stressful, and when we come home from work, it's really important that we figure out how to transition. So hello, I am Dr. Sharon Grossman, a psychologist, coach, and speaker, and I'm here today to talk to you about really how to implement that transition so that you don't carry all of the stresses from your work into your personal life. If we haven't met before, I specialize in working with lawyers, medical doctors, and other people who work in really high stress and high pressure environments. And one of the things that I see a lot is that when people are in those high pressure environments is that they often have a hard time cutting the cord. They have a hard time really transitioning, and they come home and they bring all of the stress from their work into their personal lives. This can affect their relationships, it can affect their personal health, and it can really take a toll on their emotional life. And so today we're going to really focus on what you can do to create that transition so that you are protecting your energy, you're protecting your space. So one of the things that I would recommend is that you create some sort of a routine. When you come home, ensure that you have something that you do on a regular basis that helps you to shift over from your work life into your personal life. And there's a number of ways that you can do this. One way is to physically change. In other words, going into your bedroom, taking clothes out that feel very comfortable and changing out of your work clothes. Especially if you work in an environment where you're wearing a suit or you're wearing something that can be a little bit stifling, come home, take off those clothes and put on something that is much more comfortable, maybe sweatpants or a t-shirt, something that you can get really comfortable in. That actually starts to make a shift in our minds and in our bodies. Another thing that you can do is to simply take some time out to do some grounding. So that might look like sitting down, closing your eyes for a few minutes, taking some deep breaths, and it doesn't really need to take a very long time. If you simply took 30 seconds to take 10 deep breaths like that, that can really make a big difference in just releasing all of the stuff from the day that you've accumulated. Some of the other things that you can do is you can do some journaling, especially if you're carrying all this stuff in your mind. There's some things that are still ongoing that you know you got to come back to the next day at work. Maybe write them down. Try to just put them on paper and get them out of your mind. Just download it from your brain onto that piece of paper so that you can move on. Just create a way of actually putting that aside, of just saying like, okay, I know I'm still carrying this with me. I'm going to get it out by journaling, and then I'm going to put it aside and it'll wait for me for tomorrow morning. And that's one way to do it. Some people just like to get into a relaxed state, so that might be putting on some really relaxing music, whatever that means for you. Some people like classical music, some people like jazz, whatever really helps you to feel soothed. It might mean taking a walk, just to kind of walk off all of that excess energy and come home refreshed. Some people actually like to meditate, so if that's something that's in your practice, or if you'd like to create a practice around that, I would recommend that you sit down. And when we're creating habits in general, what you want to do is to be consistent in terms of the time and the place that you do whatever it is that you're trying to create a habit around. So if creating a habit around meditation is what you want to do, think about where in your house you want to sit down and meditate for. And it, again, doesn't have to be very long. It can be as short as 5 minutes. And over the course of 21 days, 3 weeks, you'll notice that you've created a habit. Now, it may not be a very strong habit. It might take a few more months if all you're doing is 5 minutes every day, but you're already in motion to creating a habit of how to meditate, how to transition out of that work stress into a more relaxed state so that you can be more present for your personal life, for your relationships, for your health. So we talked about music, we talked about breathing, any sort of walking or grounding exercises are really great. And just figuring out what really works for you. So coming home, taking clothes off, just getting into something relaxing, putting on a certain atmosphere. It could be music, it can be candles, whatever really soothes you, and then doing some sort of a practice for at least 5 minutes can really help you transition. This is important for everybody, but I would say even more so for introverts, because as introverts, what you notice is that you get really drained by being around other people. So it doesn't mean that you're not good at being around other people. It doesn't mean that you don't like being around other people, but it just means that you need to be extra careful about how to protect your energy. And so one of the ways that you can protect that energy is by making sure that you are recharging. And recharging for introverts means being alone, taking some time for yourself every day to just relax, just be alone to refocus. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you'd like some additional tips, feel free to sign up for my weekly blog. You can go to www.coachingbysharon.com and sign up. And every week I send out a blog with some tips. So hope to see you there, and hope you've enjoyed this and that this was helpful for you, and look forward to seeing you again next time.